Well, it's official. Rocksteady is dead indeed. Well, I knew this during Gotham Knight, even Arkham Knight almost. But Arkham Knight was actually pretty good. But the time I knew that they were dead was Gotham Knight. And Suicide Squad is just proving my point and just proving everyone's point actually. And I've seen a lot of people already knew this game was gonna be trash from the videos they've seen of it or the footage they've seen of it, and it's worse than you can imagine. Actually, it's not as trash as you're thinking that people were going, but it's worse than that. And this review will go over it, and I really appreciate you clicking on this first of all. And I saw IGN gave this a 5, I believe. It might be my theory is they didn't get a review copy or something they didn't get paid or something like that, because there's no way IGN don't give you a 7, right? A 5. I think they gave Gotham Knight a 5 also. But yeah, this game, yeah, Rocksteady's dead. And for the ending, I'm sure you guys already seen the ending, and they disrespect Batman the way they did in Kevin. We know Kevin, RIP Kevin, but for them to disrespect that character like that is absurd. But I guess you can say bold move, right? But jeez, yeah, this game is insanely bad. Do you remember Borderlands? Well, this is exactly what this game is. It's just loot and shoot. And this game also has a battle pass, or it's actually live service, which is 10 times worse. I didn't even know it was live service, but the game is live service. And I think you have to open briefcases. I remember there was one part of the game.
We get stuff for doing nothing. That's brilliant. Oh, hold on. I have to work for it.
Damn straight you do.
Where they allow you to open common briefcases, and you have to wait. Every time you open one briefcase, you have to wait like 17 hours or a day or something like that, just so you can, because it's on a timer, just so you can open another one. And most of the time they give you common weapons, which is useless because in the game when you play you get way better weapons. So opening those briefcases doesn't even matter. And I believe you have to buy better briefcases so you can get better weapons. And again, this game has a season pass. I believe also there's supposed to be season 1 coming out with Joker or Lex Luthor or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me all the way, but I know that this game has a season pass, and you have to buy skins for your player, which is just absurd. I did buy the Harley Quinn skin, or I think it did come with the game, but I think you have to pay $9.99 for the Harley Quinn OG skin. If you remember, I'll put it on the screen if I have it. But if I may go on this before we even get into the gameplay, this two games are two different games. Arkham Knight, and then you got this game, which I guess I'll talk about Harley later on. I don't even want to get into that right now. But gameplay is essentially just shooting and looting. The best person you could use out of the 4 players you have is the Boomer guy, because he's way faster, first of all, and his ultimate attack is extremely strong and fast. You traverse throughout the world extremely quick with him. His cooldown seems way faster. He also has a shotgun to start with, which is extremely OP. And also, what I've noticed about this game is I thought when you had Deadshot, you had the Shark guy, you had Harley Quinn, you had Boomerang, I thought you would be able to, you know, they would have a specific skill, but they don't, because with Boomerang guy, I could just use a sniper the whole time. I thought you would have to use a sniper with Deadshot and maybe a minigun with the Shark guy, and Harley Quinn would be maybe faster in combat, but everybody plays the same. If you use the specific weapon, you could actually use one weapon for the whole game. You don't really need the other characters unless, you know, the game specifically tell you this mission is for the specific character, or you'll get more XP if you play as this character. But after that, Boomer is the way to go. The Boomerang guy is the way to go. He's way too fast. And I also got this sniper during the game. I think it was random. So throughout the game, when you would complete a mission, you would get a random loot box, and God knows who thought of this idea, but yeah, so you get a random loot box, and you just get a random weapon or a random chip or something like that, and then you get a pistol. You could get a melee weapon. So the two things you do is just shoot the enemies, and some of the enemies have a shield on them, so you would have to wait and parry them essentially, because there's a parry mechanic where you have to, I think, hold the aim button and press R1 to just parry the enemies. Certain enemies do and certain enemies don't, and we'll talk about the enemies a little bit later. But you can parry them, which allow you to melee them to either replenish your shield, because sometimes they have that, or you can just melee them and, you know, shoot them to death. So that's essentially the combat. You just fly everywhere and you shoot, and mind you, you do have an aim assist, which is extremely strong, so you will technically never miss if you have the sniper I have, which I did watch some gameplay online. People were using miniguns and it took them forever to beat certain bosses, which we will talk about later. But I know the sniper I got was cheese. And it was, I think it had ice in it. I don't think you can upgrade the weapons. From what I've seen, you can overhaul them, which I don't know what that does at all. But I know that you just have to open and get better weapons. You cannot keep using your normal weapons because the enemies does get harder. Speaking of the enemies, actually, they're actually not bullet sponges. I'll give the game that. I thought they were going to be extreme bullet spongy, but they're not actually. Some of the other enemies, there's not that many enemy types. There are just few purple brainiac minions, and then you got ones that came from the Flash, and we will talk about this later, by the way. But the ones that came from the Flash, which are extremely quick, but you can easily just snipe them from far away. This game is, again, you could just camp and just kill some of the enemies. You can't camp for too long because there are certain missions where you're on a timer, but you can essentially just stay far away with the sniper and just snipe them to death, and it's that easy. And the game, again, I'll give it props, it's not bullet spongy. I didn't play it on the hardest difficulty, which I'm sure probably would raise the sponginess, but I will say the bosses are extremely spongy. So before we even get into the bosses, I do want to talk about the characters. So if you're familiar with the movie Suicide Squad, you already know these characters. They're essentially just took the same characters that was in the movie and brought them to this game. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them had the same voice actor. I'm not sure on that though. So essentially you have Sharkman, which I don't know his name, I forgot. Very uninterested, but he's supposed to be, actually is the coolest one, maybe out of all of them, but one of the coolest one. But he's supposed to just be a shark guy. He's supposed to be dumb and doesn't know anything humanly, so everything, usually his quotes are trying to figure out if they're being sarcastic, and throughout the game he started to know, you know, how they are because he got used to them. So that's him. Then you got Harley Quinn, which is supposed to be a psychopath.
Bunch of giant space dildos ain't gonna stop us. What?
And mind you, Harley Quinn is the most annoying one. And can we take a look at Harley Quinn and how they completely uglified Harley Quinn? I know many YouTubers won't point that out, but I'll point that out since I've seen it, because I did play Arkham Knight, I played Arkham City, I played Arkham's Asylum. I've seen how Harley used to look, and this is hilarious how they uglified Harley Quinn, and it is funny. Even like I said before, the suit, the original suit from Arkham Knight that came to this game, God knows, completely different. Harley is not Harley. That's what Harley kind of had with her, was her looks and her psychopath, of course, but we do remember her for her looks, and of course they're going to uglify her. This is 2024, I almost said 2023, 2024, and which is, of course they are going to do that. Women cannot be good looking, but we've already ranted about that. So next guy we have is the Australian dude, Boomerang guy. And he's been stereotyped a lot throughout this game, which is funny because they didn't stereotype the black dude at all, but we get to him later. They didn't stereotype him at all, but they stereotyped This is Australian guy at all the time. But I will say he's my favorite character in the game because he at least kept the game a little bit going. But he, besides the shark, he's actually dumber than the shark. They made him extremely stupid.
You got your marching orders, Task Force X. Based on Boomerang's plan. God help us.
Yeah.
He brings nothing to the table. Everybody brings something. Even Harley Quinn acts like a leader sometimes. Boomer 50 Cent, aka Deadshot, since we own him now, we'll talk about him. The first thing I've seen, when the first thing I thought of when I seen Deadshot was,
Isn't Deadshot supposed to be white? Aren't you supposed to be shutting your damn mouth?
oh, there you go. The game already knew we were going to call this out, so of course they made the white guy call it out. They knew a bigot was going to call this out, and yeah, they made him call it out, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, that's what I thought first when I first seen him. I was like, I thought Deadshot was white, but whatever, right? So I'm guessing they're just going off the movie, like I said before. So Boomerang guy doesn't bring anything to the table at all. If he was actually out of the game, he didn't bring any ideas. Most of the time, if he brought an idea, it was stolen, or he was being told what to say most of the time. So he was actually treated as the dumb guy and dumb stupid Australian dude in the game, while everybody else brought something to the table, even though he was the best character though to use gameplay wise. Yeah, he was pretty dumb. So then you got Lex Luthor in there, which had a man bun, which was funny to see. Again, you had 50 Cent. Then you had Poison Ivy, which is a kid now. I don't know what Rocksteady was going for. I thought, did Ivy die in Arkham Knight? I kind of forgot. I actually never finished Arkham Knight, but I do remember her sacrificing or doing something to get rid of what's his name's toxin, and now she's a kid. I'm not sure, but I know she's extremely annoying. I used to like the old Ivy, of course, but I don't know how to feel about this now. I don't know what they were going for here, but all I know is she's a kid now, and whatever. I know I called most of these characters annoying, but brace yourself because this is the worst character in the game. Extremely. This is the most female boss I've ever seen in my life.
That's where you come in. Task Force X, your new mission is to kill the Justice League.
When you get down to it, Paula ain't so bad. She's just...
I gave you half-wits orders. Suit up and get out. In case it needs stating, no greasy little crossword jockey gives you orders. I do.
Chop chop!
Just go. I'll drive.
Boy!
Give me access to Luther's files now, and I might not shoot your other leg. Task Force X. I'm not gonna say you betrayed my trust, cause you never had it. I counted on you going rogue to get us inside LexCorp.
All humans do is manipulate. In my home, father would never
I'm
allow-
your daddy now, Shark. That goes for all of you. I'm your daddy.
You remember that girl from Star Wars, that new Star Wars game that just came out, Jedi Fallen Order or whatever, that black lady? Well, she is in this game. Her name is Waller in this game. God knows this is the worst character I've ever seen written. Doesn't bring nothing to the table. Doesn't help the squad at all. Extremely insufferable. I'm talking about want to break your screen insufferable. Annoying. I don't know any other words. Disgusting. She doesn't help at all. And to have her voice act, her lines that they gave her are terrible. She belittles the team. She cucks every guy she talks to. She is the epitome, the peak of female bosses. This is the worst character I've ever seen in my life. The whole game, every time she talks, I was like, oh my gosh, this is her again, not this lady again. And of course, the game doesn't allow you to execute any of your team, so you can't execute her when you buy her. And I was hoping at least we get, because and throughout the game she actually wanted to kill the Suicide Squad. I thought, okay, at least they would team up together later on and we would get some type of closure. We will get rid of this character. No, she stayed all the way through the end. She didn't grow, or you didn't like her towards the end. She stayed the same. To me, she got worse. So this character didn't add anything, didn't make the game any better. If you thought the game was bad, she adds 10 times the pain to the game. So you do have Batman in this game. You have Superman in this game. You have Flash. You have the Green Lantern in this game. And can I please, I'm gonna say it now, Green Lantern and 50 Cent have a battle going on, or sometimes they are both enemies. I think because Green Lantern I think arrested 50 Cent, or 50 Cent aka Deadshot, and they had a beef going on, right? And may I say, Green Lantern's voice acting is brutal.
Your face always looks so... what?
I was just about to ask you the same thing, Quinn. Wait, Floyd Lawton? They gotta do something about security at Arkham.
What are you going to do now?
I was thinking of introducing you to my friend here.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light!
Feeling more festive?
Y'all look pathetic. Four dipshit cons too dumb to know when they're punching above their weight. You're just gonna go from Waller's prison to Brainiac's.
Who is the voice actor for Green Lantern? Because God knows they didn't deliver at all. Every line he said were bad. Everything. I don't think he had one line where I was like, okay, he did decent here. At least Harley Quinn was decent. Everybody else was decent. But good God, Green Lantern has to be the worst one. And it seems like it's just some random guy in the booth just reading lines with no emotions whatsoever. But you do have those. That's the Justice League. And you also have Wonder Woman, which I forgot. If I may comment on Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman just looks like Superman with a female head. No type of body, female body at all. It looks like a male body with a female head on it. Abby, essentially. God, I don't even want to rant anymore about that. So you have these 4 or 5. You have Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, and you have Wonder Woman. So right, 5 Justice League members. I asked myself the first time because one of your the main mission of the game is to kill the Justice League, just like the title says. I asked myself, how in the world are the Suicide Squad going to kill the Justice League when they only have weapons? So throughout the whole game, the first boss you fight, which I'm going to comment on, is the Flash. I asked myself before we even got to that part, how in the world are they going to kill the Flash when he's supposed to be the fastest man alive? Well, essentially you just shoot him down with a gun, and he is spongy. Of course he is. You remember Gotham Knight, how the boss fights were? Yeah, it's the same here. The same. Rocksteady can't get away from that from Gotham Knight for some reason. It's the same thing. You shoot. You parry. Parry means there's parts where he would have like lightning on top of his head. You remember in Batman games, you would click triangle if the enemy would have lightning on top of his head, and then you will counter his attack. It's the same thing here, but this time you just shoot. So you shoot the Flash. Mind you, he can turn invisible. How did the Flash get beat by us? And he's a lot stronger because, oh, I forgot about Brainiac, by the way. Brainiac is the main bad guy. So Brainiac gave him, you know, he enhanced his power. And Flash still got beaten by all of us. And again, Flash can turn invisible. Flash can make tornadoes. Flash can go at the speed of light, or maybe faster than light. And the Suicide Squad just shot him. A bullet goes how fast? I don't know. But I know a bullet doesn't go as fast as light. So how in the world did we end up killing him? Well, again, you just shoot him to death. I was like, okay, we kill Flash. Then you fight Green Lantern. How do you kill Green Lantern? Well, you just shoot him. You don't do anything. So Lex Luthor makes you a bullet, and you just shoot Green Lantern. That's it. Then the whole boss arena was just wide and easy to just fly. All you have to do is use Deadshot the whole time, which Deadshot has this mechanic where if you aim while you're in the air, you float for a long time. So just use Deadshot and just shoot him down. Alright, next one, Batman. Now mind you, Batman had this beautiful intro to him. Seems like he was deadly, he was breaking necks, ripping whatever, he was beating up guards, and he looking bad, right? Okay, how do you beat Batman? Well, Batman didn't use any of it, but because the Suicide Squad went to Batman's lair. So you would think Batman would use his, because he knows his surrounding, his Batcave, better than they do. You would think he would use that against them. No, what did he use? So he uses Scarecrow's toxin against the Suicide Squad. And what do you do? Oh, okay. You go opening generators, getting rid of the toxin. And I remember Deathstroke did have opened the wrong one, so Batman essentially got, and this is where Harley Quinn got her female boss powers enhanced also, because we will talk about in the Batman, because you probably already seen it. But what do? You just shoot Batman. A big Batman that is on fire, you just shoot him. Mind you, you're in a toxin. You've been exposed to toxin. No, you just shoot him. And then towards the end, when you got Batman, right? So the only way, and you had also Wonder Woman flying around. Wonder Woman actually didn't become evil. Wonder Woman started fighting Superman. And mind you, she was holding her own, which is mind-blowing. I'm asking myself, how did Superman not just kill her now, like instantly? Well, she had a shield that had kryptonite, which wouldn't do nothing to Superman because most of the time he was just knocking the shield out of her hands. So how did she hold her own against Superman? Beyond my comprehension. So Superman ended up killing Wonder Woman in the dumbest way. So she found out that he was a little bit stronger because Brainiac made him immune to kryptonite. So yeah, you beat Batman, and then after that, you're asking yourself, okay, how in the world are they going to kill Superman? Because Superman is OP. Superman is way faster than the Flash, or at least as fast as the Flash. How in the world are they going to kill Superman? Well, they use Batman somehow to get something to harm Superman.
I call this new metamaterial gold kryptonite.
Gold kryptonite. Ugh, so what's the word like tacky but for rich people?
Ghost.
Wait, so this ugly shit's supposed to kill the Man of Steel?
And if you are confused, that's because that's how the game said it. Lex Luthor just made, because after you kill Flash, for some reason the time Flash maybe made him go back in time, or in another universe. So you meet Lex Luthor, because Flash did kill Lex Luthor in your universe. You meet Lex Luthor. He makes something. You bring him back to your reality. He makes something using Batman. I don't know what he did to kill Superman. So you're thinking, okay, still, how in the world is it possible they're going to even catch Superman to kill him? Well, Superman is an idiot. He just flies towards you with tanks trying to melee you most of the time. He flies to one spot and stand there, which is mind-blowing. So you just shoot him. Yeah, you guessed it. You just shoot him to death. And this one's a bullet sponge one. Even with the sniper I had, this one was pretty hard to get through because you would just shoot him most of the time. So yeah, that's that. Those are the boss fights. You just like Gotham Knight, you have a health bar, you shoot, boss is dead. That's it. And if you didn't get any good weapons throughout the game while going throughout the world, I feel sorry for you, because you will have to shoot forever. But that's that right there. But yeah, underwhelming, just straight up lazy, right? So let's get to Batman. So before you even beat Superman, the team brings Batman to some spot just to lure Superman in so they can kill him. Harley Quinn goes on to some crazy speech.
Dependent on someone else to survive. Like you, Harkness. An illiterate alcoholic who's desperate for the spotlight.
And Floyd's a deadbeat dad. Sharky's a freak who'll never be a real boy, and I'm... What was it? Oh yeah, I never was too bright. Get some new material, jerk off. You know, Joker used to be real good at hurting people with words. But you, boop. Even when you're evil, you're still too good. You had a good run, Brucey. Flying around Gotham, punching bad guys, cleaning up the streets, causing long-term mental and emotional damage to everyone you knew. It's our turn now. After all we've been through. Oh. Bet you didn't think it'd be me at the end, huh, Babs?
Are we done with your bad stand-up routine?
Almost. But you always gotta end on your best joke.
And Harley Quinn just shoots Batman. And before that, don't think I didn't see that Harley Quinn lift up Batman. How? I have no idea. Batman's suit is literally heavy. Guys, there are so many stupid things throughout this game. But she shoots Batman in the head. And that's how the Batman dies? He gets shot in the head? That's it? Wow. Harley Quinn just have some monologue about whatever. And the thing is, I noticed about Harley Quinn, why didn't she ever mention Joker? It's like she left Joker behind. She didn't have no, like, there was certain dialogues where she'll call him her ex. She never brought up Joker. Joker is a main part of Harley Quinn's life. How in the world she never brought him up through the Suicide Squad? It's like she had her girl boss moment. She moved on from Joker, and that's it. And I also noticed Harley Quinn had some weird honor. I don't know. She liked Wonder Woman a little too much, but I don't know why though. I'm not sure. But that's Harley Quinn, I guess. But those are the things I've noticed. But after that, yeah, you just shoot. Bosses are dead, and Batman just gets shot in the head. That's how he dies. So let's talk about the world. Aren't you tired of open world? Well, too bad. This game is open world, but I will give it this. It looks okay. And of course, it's very, how can I put this? It's very bright. It's very colorful. It's very query. Very that, yeah. And it's, of course, it's small. I give them that. The open world is not that small. It's not that big, but there is nothing to do in the open world. Just like Gotham Knight, you do the same thing. Let me give you what most of the missions are in the open world. Protect something, retrieve something, as in you would have to retrieve three, let's say 3 innocent civilians and put them in a bus. You will have to guide an automobile, and what else? I think that's it. And then you have Riddler. Actually, those are the things you could do around the world. And when you're protecting something, most of the time they will drop in some type of car, which would make the protection super easy. But I think the worst one to do is the penguin missions, which is so bad because you have these little enemies that would crawl on the floor like spiders. They look like brains or whatever, and they will leech on the enemies, and you cannot damage the enemies at all. So you will have to find those little spiders around and kill them first. Then you can finally put attack the enemies and damage the enemies. And sometimes they spawn tanks, sometimes they spawn the bigger enemies, which would take forever. Those are what are bullet spongy. But after that, those are the missions throughout the world. Nothing to do. It's not. I mean, it's not interesting. It's not like Batman Arkham where it looks dark and you want to go and investigate certain buildings or behind certain things, or you'll hear some audio logs, or you hear some, goons, and you want to go investigate. No, it's no art at all. It's just Metropolis. I don't know, man. I will say, I guess it looks cool, from far away. With the big Brainiac machine in the back. After that, it is nothing. And I did forget to talk about Brainiac, which I guess it's time to talk about him now. He's just the main bad guy. And how do you kill him? Well, you guessed it. Again, you just shoot him to death. And he, instead of taking Superman's power, because he did take on the Flash power, just to defeat the Suicide Squad. This man took on Flash instead of taking Superman's power, because he did somehow takes Flash power. Instead of taking Green Lantern or Superman's power, this dude took Flash power, one of the weakest guys in the Justice League. But okay, he could have taken Superman and just obliterate all of them. And by the way, there's a scene where Superman, when you first meet Superman could just use his eye laser, and just obliterate the Suicide Squad. And then just move on. But of course the game would just end there, and of course we can't have that. So yeah, that's Brainiac. And the world, again, you have different dimensions where you have to kill Brainiac. They went this lazy way. So after you kill Brainiac the first time, you have, I believe, 12 other dimensions where you do the same thing on all the worlds, and you kill Brainiac, which I didn't even bother to do because I don't care. After the first half of the game, I was done. But yeah, the game is horrible. I mean, if you have IGN going off in this game and giving it a 5, it's bad. But I didn't have anything to upload. I thought maybe this was good to upload. That's my thought. And don't think I didn't see all that rainbow flag everywhere. The real heroes, bro. The real heroes. I saw all of that. Yeah, the game is bad. I appreciate you watching, of course. Still not home, so our streams haven't been done. But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscription. Thanks for liking whatever you do. I appreciate it. Should be back next month. I should be back next month, but maybe earlier. But as of right now, I'm not home. So I hope you enjoyed this video.